Hi everybody, this is Michael Hildebrandt and I'm your host on the Sleeptrust podcast, where I'm talking about how to gain back trust in your ability to have a superb sleep again.
In this week's episode of the Sleeptrust podcast, we are going to talk about the key to achieving high energy levels at daytime. And this is the fourth podcast out of our 5-part best of series. Enjoy this recording. I'm going to walk you through a way that you can use to position yourself when it comes to your current energy levels and what you should be doing next to improve those energy levels, of course, utilizing sleep on that path. So if you're unclear where you are standing right now or don't really know how or what you should do to improve your energy levels, if you don't have a clear plan, maybe feel frustrated, then today we're going to get a clear method that will help you to position yourself, give you a clear understanding of the keys to success for your current situation and give you a clear goal that you can work on. In last week's episode, I shared with you the Sleeptrust SleepMap that you can download for free. And this map contains the exact 9 steps to bring you from A to B, from where you are right now to where you want to be in regards to your sleep and your energy levels. But what's important to understand is that depending on where you are standing right now, how your current situation is, the things that you actually do in these steps differentiate. So what we will do today is that we're going to identify and position us in regards to our energy levels and our sleep. And accordingly, we're going to have a look at the keys to success for each of these stages that we should be taking to improve the energy levels, to improve our energy levels and our sleep quality. You can imagine this to work a little bit like climbing a ladder. So we've got a couple of steps and we have to find out where on this ladder we are to know which step to take next. If we try to skip steps or don't know where we are right now, or things are just going to get complicated, maybe even dangerous and frustrating because we're not going to be able to climb the ladder as fast as we could. To make things easier, we are going to work with a couple of numbers today, but please keep in mind, we're not doing maths here. This is only a little helper to give you an indication of where you are right now. So use it accordingly and don't try to overcomplicate it here. So the simple first question that I would ask you to answer right now for yourself is, if I would ask you where on a scale from 0 to 10 you are in regards to your energy levels, your current energy levels, where would you be? Are you a 2? Are you a 3, a 7, a 10? Where are you on this scale? And just listen to your gut, and the first answer that you're going to come up with is probably a good thing to take. And this is just an indication. We're going to walk through that, and we might adapt it on the way, but take that number. And what we're going to do with this number now is that we are going to translate this into a percentage number. It's super easy. I'm going to walk you through, and I'm going to let you know why in a couple of seconds from now. So how you do it is basically, let's say you are a 4, is that you just have to add a 0 to that number, and then you've got the percentage number. So that will be 40% of energy. If you're at a 10, you're at 100%. At 2, 20%. So let's just assume you are a 4. That would be 40%. So now that you have got your personal energy percentage number, we're going to move on, and I'm going to walk you through a model that's called the Sleeptrust Energy Pyramid. And you can download it later too, but for now I'm going to walk you through in this podcast. So this pyramid is built out of 4 blocks, and each block represents a certain energy level. As you've got your percentage number, you will be able to identify in which level you belong, and you can pick up on the keys to success to find out where you should be working on right now. So the first block of the pyramid runs from 0 to 25% of energy levels, and it's called the burnout zone. Please keep in mind that this is not exact math. So if you had a 30% or you have a 30%, then this might also be your zone. Listen to the symptoms and decide and maybe rearrange your number when we're walking through this pyramid. So from 0 to 25%, it's the burnout zone. And this means that you are close to a burnout or might even have one. You will notice by dropping productivity levels and also by your mental health, your mood, you're really going to feel bad and exhausted nearly every single day. And the keys to success here are, first off, to take full responsibility for the situation, for your situation. Typically in this level, kind of like a reflex is to say it's the circumstance, it's my health, it's everything around me, and to push away the responsibility. But the truth is, as soon as you grab that stick of responsibility, you're able to take action, to take control back. So that's the very first thing that you want to do. The second thing is that you want to get informed and start working on sleep improvements. And the third thing, and that's not on the list of the pyramid, but is that you actually probably want to see a doctor or a psychologist in this level to help you to get started. So the next block of the pyramid brings us from 25 to 50%, somewhere in that range. And we're now moving into the drowsy zone. Typical symptoms here are that you are afraid of getting a burnout, that you're partly using alcohol or medications to sleep, and that you're using all of your energy left to keep the status quo going. So a couple of keys to success here are to practice sleep improvers, because sleep in this zone is very essential for our energy levels. And the second thing that we want to do if we practice these sleep improvers is that we want to start measuring our sleep results. So we want to start measuring on a daily basis what we're doing and if and how it's helping us. And the third thing that we want to do in this zone to further progress is that we want to acknowledge the positive impact that our actions are having on our sleep. This is very important. We have to see and feel that the effort is bringing us to where we want to go. Because often it's hard, if we don't measure our result, it's hard for us to grab that we're making progress over the course of days or weeks. But if we measure our results, we're going to be able to see that, and we should acknowledge the positive impact. That's going to give us a core motivation to continue doing stuff. The next zone runs from 50 to 75% of energy levels, and we call it the normal zone. So typically people in the normal zone have a normal life. They're directing most of their energy towards their work or their career or their family. So one particular area, not spreading the energy over all important areas of our life. And typically people have the feeling that they don't have enough energy for relationships. For some people, it's the health. For others, it's a different topic. But they're lacking the energy to take care of all aspects of their life. And accordingly, they're feeling like they're wasting their lives partly. So a couple of keys to success here are to protect our sleep, really take care that we get enough sleep, to implement healthy routines here. So we want to implement routines that bring us to not only protect our sleep, but to bring us into that energy flow of a day that will enable us to spread more energy over more aspects of our life and to do something that I call purpose-driven sleeping, which is to know why we're sleeping, that it doesn't feel like a waste of time, but rather that we're doing something that will help us to get more out of the next day. Purpose-driven sleeping. So from there on, we move to the top zone, and these people typically don't have a problem. They're running from 75 to 100% of energy, and here it's more about tweaking. It's like tweaking every aspect of our life. This is not a good fit for everybody, and it's nothing that I would recommend to anybody. But different people have different feelings about their life and how it should be, and this is kind of the tweaking. It's typically a thing for one-on-one coaching over the course of a couple of months or a year. So these are people who only get enough sleep, so they really track how much sleep they get. They're afraid that their health will suffer. They're on high energy levels, but they know that they're kind of maxing out on only getting the amount of sleep they really need. And they're often still unhappy with the distribution of their energy. Typically, it's often the relationships that kind of don't get enough energy from them. So keys to success here are to really utilize sleep, to utilize the sleep quality, to really tweak certain aspects, then to implement very effective habits, and to do something that I call a smart energy usage. That's something that I recommend people to do in the normal zone too. Oh, by the way, we're talking about the power zone here, but it's a lot about smart energy usage. So where, in which aspects do I spend how much energy, and is this good or do I have to shift? Typical areas of our life are health, wealth, relationships, career, and experiences that we want to make. And often there's an imbalance here. So that's something that people in the power zone want to tweak to even max out and get to that 100%, or even set the bar higher. People can get over 100%, and if they do so, that's going to get the new 100%. Because mathematically, of course, you can't get more than 100%. But you can experience a phase in your life that you just feel more energized than ever, and that's going to raise the bar for your life. So that's kind of part of the power zone. So I hope that this was helpful for you to position yourself on that energy scale. And if you found that the symptoms of the zones didn't 100% match your number, you might want to rethink that number. And it's important to know if you're in the burnout zone, the drowsy zone, the normal zone, or the power zone, to know which keys to success will help you. And that's what I take and ask each and every of my clients before we start working together, to know exactly where they are. And accordingly, we're going to align the steps in the Sleeptrust SleepMap, the 9 steps, to what they should specifically be doing, what you should be doing. So to get the most out of this podcast, it's probably the best to go to sleeptrust.eu, and I'll publish the Sleeptrust energy pyramid for you. Then you should identify where you are and take the keys to success to heart and start bringing them into your life. It's just, if I look at my own life, you can transfer the positioning thing to any aspect of your life. So for me, it's kind of like reading books. When I start to dig into a new topic, like a while ago, I started to look at books from philosophers. If you take a book from a philosopher and you didn't have too much contact with philosophy before, it's just going to screw you. I had a look at those books and I did not understand anything. I wasn't even able to understand the thought patterns. Take away all those words that you might not know. So I had to start on a lower level. I had to get books that introduced me to the concept of philosophy and so on. And that way I could take the next step, and from there on I could move forward. It's the same with karate. If you're a white belt, you do not want to learn the same things as a black belt does. It's not going to help you. You're not going to get anywhere. You're going to hurt yourself. So you want to start with basic things. If you're a white belt, if you're a yellow or a green belt, they've got these different colors. Then you learn different things and you improve depending on where you are right now. There are a couple of things that are always the same. The structure around it, the 9 steps are always the same, but what you have to do inside is different. So as always, you've got the choice. You can continue to follow the one-fits-all approach, just implement tips that you get in the internet. And there are a lot of them out there that will help you to improve your energy and sleep, but you're not sure on which step of the ladder you are, if you're able to implement those steps and if they make sense at the moment. Or you can find out where you are right now, position yourself, and align your efforts to what really helps you. With that, let's wrap up this week's episode of the Sleep Trust podcast. If you want to climb the energy and sleep ladder of your life, then the first way to get started is to position yourself in regards to your current energy situation. The easiest way to do so is to pick a number from 0 to 10 that represents your current energy situation and to map that onto the Sleeptrust energy pyramid. Depending on your personal energy situation right now, the Sleeptrust energy pyramid will show you exactly what your keys to success are. So best go to sleeptrust.eu right now, where you can download the Sleeptrust energy pyramid for free. And that's it for this week's episode of the Sleep Trust podcast. I hope you enjoyed yourself and that you tune in next week when we are going to talk about how you want to utilize your willpower for better sleep. Until then, have a superb sleep.
Hey there, and thanks for listening to the Sleep Trust podcast. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you want to get further information on this podcast or material that will help you to gain back your sleep trust, please check out sleeptrust.eu. That's sleeptrust.eu, where you will get lots of information around sleep. And here comes some legal stuff. Everything on this podcast is my opinion only, so do not take it as an advice, as I am not a doctor, nor have I considered your personal situation. If you feel that you need medical advice, please consider getting an appointment at your doctor of trust. If you want to give me any kind of feedback on this podcast, feel free to email me at podcast@sleeptrust.eu. I hope you tune in again next week, and until then, have a good sleep.